as I guess Avni will show and make us really understand that it's all about happiness, and without happiness, nothing goes in the interest of employees, but also of their business. So it starts with happiness, and I guess it ends also with happiness. So you're really welcome, Avni. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Kais. Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. I feel, hi everybody, good evening to you, and good afternoon and good morning to many of you too. I don't know which part of the world everybody's from. Sorry, is that a good morning? So can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So thank you. I feel very, very grateful for this wonderful opportunity to be here with you, and thank you all for joining. I cannot see everybody on the screen. I can see George and Kais, and that's it. So everyone else, please do feel free to turn on your videos. You know, it's just, we are all disconnected in this COVID world to some extent. It's so nice to see human beings, and it's so wonderful to, like, you know, see people, feel your energy, whatever you're doing, it's okay, you know. Please do join us. Let me start the conversation by taking you to 1998. Okay, we are in Thailand on a beautiful island called Koh Tao. If you've been there, you'll know it's gorgeous. Okay, it's a diver's paradise. As a child, I nearly drowned, and I had a fear of water. Even in a bathtub, my heart rate would go skyrocketing high. And so I decided to take up scuba diving to overcome my fear of water and to go beyond my thoughts and my feelings and my fears to experience basically the magic of life that's underwater. And to a great extent, my friends, that is exactly the conversation that we would love to have here today. How can we go beyond our experiences, beyond our thoughts, beyond our realities, okay, to experience something that we haven't experienced before, to create new possibilities, new ways of being? So let's imagine this. We're in Thailand, okay? We have just finished our dinner, okay? And having finished our dinner, we are about to go for a PADI Advanced Water certificate. So to pass our certificate, we have to do a night dive, okay? And it has to be dark, of course, and you're doing a night dive. So it's dark, we're on a long wooden boat, okay? The sea is rough, it's pitch black. The next picture I will share with you is a little bit scary. So I'm warning you, and that is why I've put a little diagram picture first, okay? The next picture is a little bit scary. And at the same time, it very accurately shows to you how rough the water really was that night. Okay, so I hope you're ready for this. All right. The waves are 2 meters high. It's pitch black. And it did not take a trained coach to see the look in the eyes of our diving instructors. Okay, they're all looking at each other, pretending that everything is okay, everything is under control, and that we can go down. It's okay. Yeah, because they're doing a calculated risk. We could see that. Yeah, having whispering conversations behind the scenes. Okay. To assess, should we go? Should we not go? Is it too rough for us students? Is it just about okay? And they decided it's okay. Okay, so before we all start panicking and fearing and start maybe even vomiting, okay, they quickly asked us to suit up and go down and jump in as fast as possible before we could even think. They gave us a clear instruction that find the rope. There is a rope there, find the rope, use the rope to go down, because that rope is what's going to keep us secure. It's going to take us down in the right spot, and all of us will meet where the anchor is at the bottom. Okay, so Mind over matter. I'm obviously very petrified, but mind over matter, I decided not to think about it and I just dived in because I knew if I think I will not do it and if I don't do it today, I will never ever do it again. Okay, I just knew it. So my husband, Jeff, who was my fiance at that time, decided to dive in just after me because he knew that if he dives in first, I will not go. And if I don't go, he'll have to come back up and get me. So anyway, as I dived in, the waves were wilder than they looked from the surface, from on the top. Yeah, I'm getting thrown up and down. Okay, and my mask is coming off. I seriously, I'm so scared. Honestly, I wanted to vomit in that moment. Okay, but of course, I tried to control myself and tried to stay as calm as I could. So I just wanted to get this experience over and done with. So I'm holding on to this rope, like my instructor said, as tightly as I could. And the waves are so powerful, okay, that it is taking all my physical bodily strength to hold it. I'm having rips on my arms because I'm holding on so tight. It's because it's throwing me everywhere, okay? It's really, really wild and I'm really holding on to it. My hands are getting sore. And suddenly, to my horror, I see my husband, my fiance at the time, Jeff, let's go of the rope. Okay? He lets go of the rope and I see him being thrown up and down all over the place, going really far from me, coming really close to me. And I'm really nervous. And while I'm trying to hold on to the rope, I'm trying to hold on to my mask, I'm trying to hold on to him, okay? I'm trying to grab onto him. I'm so scared of losing him. Can you imagine how I must feel? Seeing my husband getting thrown around in violent black ocean. Have you ever felt what it's like if you're about to lose someone? That's how it felt for me. And at the same time, my instructor is below at the bottom, 2-3 meters below me. And he's basically ushering me, yes, and calm down, get down, And I'm like, how? I cannot leave my husband here. I can't go up, I can't go down. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to hold on to him, I'm trying to reach him. If he's trying to say something to me, I don't understand what he's saying. There's fear, panic. All I can see is bubbles all around me, like crazy water. Anyway, suddenly I also see that Jeff is starting to go down and he's quite far away from me and his little light is disappearing. So I decided, okay, hook or crook, doesn't matter what happens, I'm going down. So I started descending, okay, with my BCD. And as I'm starting to descend, we finally reach 12 meters down at the floor, okay? And we find that, okay, now it's okay because finally we've reached the bottom of the dark ocean. My heart is, of course, out of my body, pounding, okay? Finally, I calm down a little bit. I see Jeff, he's there, he's smiling. Okay, I relax. The sea is calm, or calmer. We could almost stand without falling down. It was still quite choppy and quite wavy underneath, but not that bad at all. I take slow, deep breaths after this crazy episode. Okay, try my best to enjoy the moment because we are now here and I knew we're going to spend 26 minutes here. That was our estimated time to spend there. So the teacher turns on his huge lights, okay, in the night. And suddenly the splendor of colorful coral, the fish and the ocean comes to life. It was like a night show has just begun. My breath was literally taken away. I was lost, okay? With the waves of the peaceful stingrays, turtles in the distance, rainbow fish, anemones gliding. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of seeing anemones, any divers out here? I don't know. I can't see everybody, so I don't know who's nodding, who's not. But anemones are like my favorite things in the world. It is this picture on the bottom right. Okay, it's this beautiful thing that's just like, yeah, exactly, George, like Nemo. It's this beautiful thing that just floats around. It's just so soft and beautiful. And it houses these little soft fish that live inside of it. And it's just magical to see that. So I took slow, deep breaths to calm down, soak in the beauty that lies when you shine the light on darkness, the colors that come to life that may otherwise go unseen. And the gratitude I felt in that moment holding Jeff's hand, sharing this magic around me, was unforgettable. So around 26 minutes later, we are told by a dive instructor that it's time to go up. Okay, so now we are starting to go up. This time the water is, of course, just as choppy, okay? But it's less scary this time. We've been there, we've done it, we've got the badge, okay? So we know we didn't die, we are okay. So very quickly we go back up on the boat as fast as we could, okay? And before I could start celebrating with a nice ice cold beer that was sitting there and waiting for us, what do you think is the first thing I asked Jeff? Think about it, okay? I said, why, Jeff, why did you let go of that rope? Yeah, did you know that I could have just lost you? Yeah, you could have been lost in the ocean. Why didn't you hold on to my hand when I was reaching out? What were you trying to tell me? I was so scared that I was going to lose you. And Jeff's looking really relaxed and he's trying his best not to laugh. Okay, he looked at my arms. Okay, and he's rubbing my arms and he says to me, Avni, I was not the one going up and down, getting thrown around in the water. It was you. He said, you didn't seem to understand that the boat is anchored to the ground. The waves are throwing the boat up and down. So the rope is attached to the boat. So it's the rope that's going up and down. You are holding on to the rope for dear life. So you are going up and down with the rope. And to you, it looks like I'm going up and down. I wasn't the one going up and down. You were. And I couldn't understand, Avni, why for the life of you are you holding on to this rope? So I was asking you to let go. Because where I'm standing, it wasn't that bad. I was just watching you going up and down. It took me a while. It took me a while to really understand what on earth happened there. Okay? And other people are listening to this story around me, and they're also trying not to laugh, okay, as they're sipping their beers. Okay, they're trying to stay out of the marital conversation, okay? And so there I am soaking in what just happened. So I'd like to ask you there. You can type this in the chat box actually. What happened there? What really happened? What is the key message of this story? I'd love you to write just one word. What's the one word that comes to your mind when I share this story with you? Because there I am holding on to this rope for dear life, trying to save Jeff's life, where I was the one who needed saving. Nowhere to now here, point of view, okay, let go, yeah, let go and point of view, so letting go of our points of view, yeah, so it's about letting go of our points of view. Our points of view, look at your anchors, okay, everything is perception, spot on, yeah, revelation, perception, yeah, spot on, okay, faith, okay. So as many of you have shared, this story really is, and some more people are writing in, just held on to the instructions and didn't use a present moment knowing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, beauty is behind the curtain of fear. I like that. Yes, thank you. So the key message here really is, like, as you hit the nail on the head, it is perception. Okay? And that's one of the key essence of our happy system. And why is it the key? Why is everything for me and, about perception? Because this experience really exemplifies an important point, that no matter how real our own perspective feels to us, it may not reflect the full truth, or in this case, any truth, as it was the case here. So sometimes our perceptions and what we believe in, as real as it may feel, can be downright delusional. But also what's interesting is that when we do hold on to these perceptions, they feel so real that we will give our life for it. And think about all the wars caused, when people are having wars, people are dying, giving their life for it. Why? Because they do believe in a perception. They have bought into a particular perception that they are willing to give their life for it. Not so different to my scuba diving experience in a way. I would have done anything. I felt like my life depended on holding on to this rope when I couldn't be further from truth. So perception's a very interesting thing because it's all about how we see things. It's our voice inside. It's our inner narrative, our thoughts, our feelings, our worldview, our stories about ourselves, our world, what we want. And it literally controls all of our actions. Everything we do is because of the fact that we believe that it's the right thing to do. So it's very interesting, as it has the power to create, it has the power to create any world that we want to create. It's essential. Perception is actually essential for our survival and creativity, both. It's a source of every conflict, wars, and destruction. And yet, it also is a source of our survival. We need perceptions. We need to know if a lion is coming, we need to run, right? So so our perception is our judgment. It's our assessment of life itself. So we rely on it. It's important, but it's about how do we use it. So it literally holds a key to life. Perceptions have controlled our world in the past. It controls it today, and it will forevermore continue to do so and shape our world in the future. But what's interesting is that we have the power to actually control our perceptions and take back the remote control to all of our actions and all of our reactions. And thereby, we have the power to literally shape our reality and shape the world we live in. And that's why perception is a very, very key element, like the central theme, in our happy coaching system. So someone has shared here, perceived reality, iceberg, exactly, yeah. Believe the illusion like a reality, is it? Exactly. Yeah, very true, We can literally believe in illusions and think it's real. Okay? So before we go further, please write in the chat box, what is the most important thing for you? What do you value the most? What do you all want? If you could have something, what do you wish for? Or what do you wish for your loved ones? Yeah, Afifa, I love that. Thoughts are energy. Literally, I love that. Thoughts are energy. It's so true because our thoughts are equal to our perceptions. And that literally is energy. And everything we do in our physical life is energy. And all of this energy creates reality. Like somebody decided to create this phone, right? It was a thought. This phone started off with a thought. And today I'm holding it. Thought is energy, quite literally. The scientists here will definitely understand and agree with that. You know, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. Thought becomes energy. Awareness of awareness. I love that, Johnny. So yeah, let me clarify the question. If you could have anything, what's the one thing that you would wish for? What is it that you all want? Because a survey was created with 800 people, which is published in Forbes.com, where they asked people, what is it that you really, really want? And why do you really want it? So we are having answers like survival of humanity. Okay, one person has said, Ritu has said, peace of mind, contentment, happiness, stillness, purpose, balance, peace, growth and happiness for self and everyone. Some wonderful answers coming in. Balance, equanimity. And keep typing, it's okay. Because as you're writing this, ask yourself, if you had love, what would that give you? If you had peace, what would that give you? If you had growth, what would that give you? What is it that you really want to feel in your heart at the end of the day? What's your bottom line? What's your purpose? Joy, peaceful, happiness. My kids to live wise and loving life, fulfilled. So if you feel fulfilled, what would you then feel? Right? So there are so many ways of describing what we want in life, and all of them sound wonderful, and we do want all of those, all of the above. But when about 800 people were asked, what's the one thing that they're all after? Almost, and then they kept asking them, if you had that, then what would that give you? It's like people said money, freedom, joy, balance, confidence. But ultimately, they all shared that they're after this thing called, take a guess, happiness, yeah, which is the title of our summit today. Yeah, it's one of the most common words that means very different things to different people. Everybody's after happiness, ultimately. And I'd like to ask you, what's in the way of our happiness? What's between you and your happiness? So yeah, Afifa has shared achievement. And if you had achievement, what would that give you? Desires, yeah. So desires is the answer. What's in the way of our happiness, right? Yeah, desires, our desires are in the way of our happiness, okay? And our desires are what we think that we want. It comes down to our perception. Time is in the way of happiness. Yeah, and that's also a perception. The time is in the way of happiness. Illusions, yeah. And illusions is also what we think, what we believe, right? Again, it's coming down to the way we think. What's in the way of our happiness is our limited thoughts or our thoughts and perceptions. So the survey actually asked people that what are some of the things which are in the way of happiness? And people answered things like lack of clarity of purpose, lack of actions, lack of self-belief, which is basically how we see ourselves and our perception of self. So I've created like a robust coaching system based on ancient philosophies, modern neuroscience, and latest research on thought leadership for sustainable change at the level of humanity, organizations, and individuals. This system works at every level, and it can be applied to anything that we wish to change in our lives. So let's take a look at this system and what are some of the other components of the happy system and how do they all integrate together? Okay, and especially we will look at how can we create happiness at work, in our lives, and the world around us. So let's explore this further. We have a little video coming up. And I really have to say my gratitude to, Kais and his team for producing this video, okay, as it's shared on LinkedIn, but I don't know if many people would have seen it yet, so we thought we'll play it here. I love all the answers coming in. Very nice. Thank you.
Hi, most of us want to be happy, and yet many of us are struggling to find that happiness. So what exactly is in the way of being happy? And is there a reliable system that can help us get there? That is exactly why I am delighted to be sharing with you our 5-step, robust, happy coaching system, which is founded on ancient philosophies, modern neuroscience, and latest research on coaching. So what exactly does HAPPY stand for? H is for habits, because we are a sum of our habits. A is for actions, because our habits are a sum of all of our actions. P stands for perception, because our perception, consciously and subconsciously, controls our actions. P stands for purpose, because if we have a compelling enough purpose, then we can actually shift and change our perceptions. Y stands for yourself, because our purpose directly relates to who we are as people. So the happy coaching system is a way of you aligning your habits, actions, perception, purpose, and yourself. To find out more about the happy coaching system and to learn how you can put it into practice in an area of life that matters the most to you, please register and join us at the event. My name is Avni Martin. I deliver ICF certified and accredited coach training programs internationally. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you and working with you on the happy coaching system. Thank you and take care.
Thank you, Kais, and your team for this beautiful video. Thank you so much. My gratitude. Thank you. That's wonderful. And you know what? I've never actually created a video of myself like this. So this was a real challenge and a really nice thing. So thank you very much. So let's see how we can apply this happy system to organizations at a practical level. We've seen an overview of it. Okay, so let's have a look at, let's have a look at how we can do that. So we have habits, actions, perception, purpose, and yourself, you. So organizations are led by people. People are a sum of their habits. So literally, organizations are a collective sum of the habits of its people. So we can apply the happy system clockwise, or we can apply it anti-clockwise. We can start with habits. Thank you, Elena, and everybody else for your comments coming in. So we can apply the happy system clockwise or anti-clockwise, basically. So we can start off with habits. We can start off by looking at what are the different habits, and you can apply this to yourself as an individual. You can apply it to an organization. You can also apply it to yourself as a coach. Okay, so what habits as a coach do you want to change? What habits as a person do you want to change? If you are a leader, what habits as a leader do you want to change? Or a company, what habits do you want to change within your company? What culture do you want to change within your company? Okay, so you can start off with habits and then ask yourself, what actions do we need to then change? What habits do we need to make or break? What actions need to happen for that? What thoughts and perceptions support this action? What purpose will this deliver ultimately? And how does it relate to who we really are? Equally, we can go reverse. We can do an exercise of examining who are we as people, as teams, as organizations. What is our identity? What's our purpose? What's our ultimate purpose? What new perceptions or thoughts do we need to develop to support this purpose? What actions can anchor this brand new perception that we have developed? And how can we sustain these actions, stay accountable to them, stay true to them, so that these actions eventually become our long-term habits and destiny and result that we want to create. So the happy system is supported, like I said, by many ancient philosophies. From the Asian culture, we have Lao Tzu. I haven't got his slide, where he says, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, they become your destiny. So essentially, Lao Tzu, he goes all the way from thoughts to actions, to habits, to results. If you are from the Indian subcontinent background, then you may relate to, this phrase called yatha drishti tatha shrishti. Is 4 very, very powerful words, which basically means as you see, meaning how is your perception, however your perception is, however you see the world, as you see, so it is. So literally, it's a mathematical equation practically, not that it's meant to be a mathematical equation, but essentially saying yatha drishti tatha shrishti, which basically means that your reality is a sum of your perceptions. Whatever you perceive will become your reality. Yeah. So, and we don't have the time to go through all the details of the neuroscience of it, the thought leadership of it, etc., etc. But if we had more time and in a bigger workshop, I do cover this. In my coach training, I cover all of that. But today, not. But needless to say that the heart of it all, if we want to change our habits, if we want to create an alignment between who we are, what our purpose is, to ultimately what our reality is, our habits and our actions, then the key in the middle is the perception. That's the only game changer. That's the only thing we really have that we can use to go from where we want to go to where we want to go, where we are to where we want to go. Let me just move forward the slide. So let's share in our chat box some of the examples. I'd love to hear from you, like some of the examples of good habits that you see in organizations that creates happiness. So we're talking about happiness at workplace in this summit. So I'd love to really explore what habits do you see in workplace that are good, right? That you value, that makes you happy. What habits do you see in yourself and others? What do people do that makes you happy? Or that creates happiness? No boss culture, yeah. Persistent, reading, involvement, acknowledgement, yeah. Acknowledgement feels good, authenticity, trust, encouraging you to explore your strengths, empathy, integrity, appreciation, recognition, celebrations, social life, yeah. Having some fun, motivation. So also, thank you for sharing that, everyone. Me in many situations. I wonder what that means. Transparency, trust, respect, communication, diligent, bonding, yeah. Culture of support. Okay, meditation, that's a great one as well. Yeah, empathy, sharing, before working, coffee time, yeah. Yeah. So there are so many examples shared, right? Integrity, trust, sharing, caring, support, fairness, collaboration. So these are some of the wonderful habits that we see around. So thank you for sharing that, and this is what makes us happy. Please also now think about sharing what bothers you the most. Okay, what makes you unhappy at your workplace? What habits do you see in yourself or other people that really upsets you, that really bothers you? Yeah, politics, totally. And politics basically means, right, blaming, sabotaging, not helping, yeah. Yeah, politics again, lack of clarity, another politics, yeah. Absolutely. You know, not having values, absence of trust, yeah, yeah, unfairness, yeah, totally horrible, yeah. Misunderstandings, fear of conflict, not tapping into others' potential, lack of integrity, lack of commitment, absence of trust, yeah, unclear communication, yeah, bad communication, lack of communication. Great, we have some amazing responses coming in. Stealing credit, yep, that's another sign of politics. Absolutely, lack of accountability. Conflict management, yeah. Yeah, keep it going, keep coming. So, you know, so we are hearing the word politics, conflict, lack of communication, yeah, stealing credit, selfishness, agree, yeah. Yeah, not leading by example, yeah. Thank you for sharing, you know, and stress environment, yeah. Inattention of results, leading by, not leading by example, yeah. Okay. So, you know, the one thing that we all experience at work is conflict, okay? Everyone has experienced some conflict, right? I would assume that. And so we are just picking on one habit or one thing that happens at workplace for now. So if we really look at conflict, what are some of the habits which are at the heart of conflict? What do you think creates conflict? So because conflict takes away happiness at work, politics takes away happiness at work. So what are some of the things that create this conflict and create this politics? What's at the heart of it? So if we're looking down that iceberg, what is sustaining this conflict? Ego, so yeah, thinking of self. Lack of purpose, absolutely, because they don't have a long-term thinking about what they really, really want, absolutely. Perception, yes, indeed. Absence of trust, yeah. So as you're writing that, okay, think about it this way, that the heart of conflict is judgments, reactions, and lack of clarity of the ultimate purpose. If there was no judgment, there will be no conflict. If there was judgment, but no reaction at all, there will be no conflict. If there was a judgment and the person was very clear about the ultimate purpose, then they may not react. So when we look at these three things, at the heart of it all, if there is no judgment, then there is no conflict. So reactions only happen because there are judgments. And points of view, yeah, points of view create conflict in me. Perception divergence, yeah, thinking differently. Working on position, not interest, yeah. So that's again going down to that selfishness, yeah. There will be no commitment also, okay. So my points of view create the conflict in me, yeah, that's right. So it's essentially points of view, yeah, points of view, perceptions, all of that, judgment, yeah. So I actually don't know anyone who doesn't judge others, okay? Because again, judgment and perceptions are the key to our survival, yeah? But it's also the source of all the conflict in our lives and our world. And can you actually imagine having a conflict without any judgment? Just think about a conflict and no judgment. Do you ever see a conflict without any judgment? Any conflicts you can think of in your life without any judgment? And if there is a yes, I'd love to hear from you. I'll expand on it further. No, it doesn't happen, right? And can you ever imagine having a deep judgment for somebody that you're holding on to that doesn't cause any conflict whatsoever? Also unlikely, yeah? So since our summit is all about happiness, let's work on the one thing that takes it away at its heart, okay? And see how can we use this happy system to practically work on taking away this conflict and judgment. So examples of conflict are endless. I'm sure this scene is quite familiar and you've seen it before in your life somewhere. So please type yes in the chat box if it's familiar to you, okay? And how about this scene? Yeah. So if this scene is familiar, please type in yes. And this. Also say yes if you have ever experienced a sleepless night because of conflict at work or with somebody that you work with. I'll say yes. Somebody can type yes for me, please, with capitals. So conflicts at work are real. And sadly, it's rather too common. It creates an immense amount of stress, health issues, even family problems, and sometimes, sadly, even worse, even death and divorces happen because of conflict. So what can we do about this? This war at work, okay, this war in the boardroom where people say that they leave blood at the table. I've heard things like that, people saying things like that, you know. Thankfully, I haven't worked in an environment like that, but I've heard of that. So what can we do to create more peace and happiness at workplace? What's in our control and what can we do? And how can we work on this together at a deep level, not a superficial level, at a very deep level, using a happy coaching system to really transform this culture? What can we really do? So let's just say that we decide to go clockwise. Okay, you can also go anti-clockwise, but let's just say we decided to go clockwise. The first thing we do is we name the habit. We say, all right, we have an organization where we have conflict at work. This is happening too much and it's not fun. We want to change this habit. Okay? So the first thing we do is that we will call it out and identify what is it that we really, really want to change. Okay? The next thing we do is look at all the behaviors and all the actions that demonstrate and display this habit. Take practical actions to remove or reduce judgments and conflicts. So what practical actions can a company take? The company could actually make some actions to be an integral part of their corporate KPIs. They can say that, how often did you turn a conflict into collaboration? Right? A conflict is just a difference of opinion at the end of the day. And we can turn that into collaboration and use it as a KPI. As a friend of mine, Avni, shared with me, he shared an analogy in his book actually, and he mentioned his book to me recently, where he says that being vocal, yeah, where he says that we can use, so he said basically a judgment is like a knife. A conflict is like a knife. You can use it to cut each other, or you can use it to make a gourmet dinner. Right? So difference of opinions, judgments, and conflicts are like a knife. We can use it to hurt each other, or we can use it to make something very beautiful and creative and enjoy it together. It's about how do we use that. So the KPIs could be, how often did you turn a conflict into collaboration? How many conflicts did you come across this year? How did you resolve them? How fast did you resolve them? What actions did you take to resolve them? You know, and how much collaborative process did you engage in? So if this is made part of a KPI, then, or as part of the 360 feedback system or performance evaluation, then there is a possibility that we can start to shift the company culture. But to be able to do this, since we are working backwards, of course, it's also very nice to work from why, yourself, purpose, etc. It's also nice to work this way. But right now we're working this way. So for a company to take those actions, they of course have to work on their perceptions. So the company needs to take those actions. So for the company to take these actions, they need to create a culture where conflicts are looked upon as a thing that they don't want. They need to talk about that we do not want conflicts. We want to turn them into collaboration. And the company needs to set a culture for that. And its leaders to work on their perception. So they basically need to work on their perception of the conflicts in the first place. They need to start valuing the fact that we need to change. They need to start seeing the impact of what happens if nothing changes. If the benefits, what are their benefits to the bottom line if things do change? So leaders first need to create the right perception about how much conflicts are really hurting their people, their bottom line. And then they need to work on the perception of their people through internal coaching and external coaching, because judgments will happen. So they can support their people through internal coaching or external coaching, or creating a culture of coaching within organizations by training their people to become coaches. And of course, like we shared earlier, designing practical accountabilities and systems to measure this change as part of their performance evaluation systems. Yeah, what happens if nothing changes? Yeah, I like that, Sunil. Hire coaches to create awareness in employees, conduct 360, yeah, all of that. Further the coaching journey to achieve change and transformation. That's right. But this can only happen if we talk about it. This can only happen if there is an awareness and people start associating the value of conflicts. Like, how much do conflict really hurt us? How much do they hurt the bottom line? And is it worth investing in removing conflict at work? Is it worth investing in removing judgments at work? Because at the end of the day, the conflicts are the physical action that happens. And we know as coaches that the physical action only happens if there is a perception behind it. And the perception is, I'm right, you are wrong. I'm more important, you are less important. And I'm going to react through it. Right? I'm right, you're wrong, which is a judgment at its bottom line. I'm more important, you're less important in this story, which is selfishness, me-centric rather than us-centric. And the third one is that I'm going to show you, or I'm going to react through it. I'm going to do something about it, right? Which is where it shows up as real action. Otherwise, we wouldn't know about it. And how are companies going to develop the right perception is when they develop the purpose behind it, okay? So their perceptions need to be related to their ultimate purpose for the company. What do they want to be known for? So just to ensure that their ultimate purpose is aligned with their perceptions, actions, and habits for the company and their individuals. And finally, this relates to their identity as a company and their individuals. Like, who are they really? What do they stand for? Their values, their legacy. Yeah, what do they want to be known for? So like I shared earlier, we can equally look at this. Right now, we looked at how do we start with habits and work to create an alignment of actions, perceptions, purpose, and related to who we are. Equally, we can go the other way, that we can start with who we really are, defining that, and then going through what is our purpose, what's our perception, and what actions can we take to align with our new perceptions so that we can create the right habits to create the right culture and end results. So we are almost at the end, and I'd love you all to take your phones out, please. Yeah, there's a couple of feedbacks that I'd love to ask you for. So take your phones out. The first thing I'd like to share with you is this. You may or may not need your phone for this. So if you are a coach and you're looking to become a certified coach, if you're not a certified coach yet, Or if you have done half the coach training, like ACSTH, but not the full ACTB, and you are looking to convert your course to a full ACTB certificate to make your life easier, so you don't have to submit all these recordings, or if you're looking for a mentor coach, click on this QR code and book some time with me so we can discuss it further. It's just like a discovery meeting. And if you are a leader and you're looking to see how can you implement the happy system into your team's coaching culture and creating more internal coaches, also you can book a slot to discuss and discover it further. And last but not least, I would request you to share some love, please. And love stands for learning, outcome, value, and evolution. So you can tell I love these acronyms, okay? So please kindly click on the QR code, because this QR code takes you to a LinkedIn post directly where the video is shared. I'd love you to share a comment there, please. You know, just a short comment about what was your key takeaway? How did you find the webinar? What's your learning? What's your outcome? What would you do differently? You know, what thoughts came up for you? How do you value it? And how will that change the way you do things in future? You know, what perceptions are you looking to change? Now, you don't have to write this in the comments, obviously, but something for you to think about. You know, what habits do you have and what perceptions do you feel that you need to shift and change to make a difference? So somebody just asked me, can you please put the 2 links in the chat? Let me see if I have. Yes, I can try that. I'll have to click out of here and then I can try that. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to stop the screen share just for the moment then, and I will put the links in the chat box for you. I need to copy that link from here. So here is the link for, is it easier with the link, is it? Okay. So here's a link if you want to book some time, get to know me, talk and explore how can you turn your certification into ACTP or explore Happy Coaching System further. And I don't know if, yeah, I think I do have the link to.
Avni.
Yes, hello.
Oh, thank you. So I just wanted to allude to the second session behind this. So it's time is really tight. So we still have few minutes to move to the other session. So if you allow me, so I'd like to thank you for this really insightful, powerful webinar. We learned a lot. So a lot of wisdom shared today, a lot of interactions. I can see everyone smiling. So we kept in the same flow of yesterday. So it's all about smiling, happiness, love. And I like how we ended. So we ended with that powerful word, love. So it's all about love. So let's show love for our eminent guest speaker of our first session today. So let's take this beautiful picture and in sign of gratitude for Avni. So thank you, Avni, a lot. So let's share joy and happiness all together. So let's take that picture. So I'd like to ask you to put on the camera. Beautiful smiles.
Yes, everyone turn on your cameras, please.
Okay, that's great. So let's do it in 3. 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your fantastic interaction. That was really nice. Yeah, I couldn't see many people, but it was really nice to interact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Avni.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Very grateful.
looking forward to meet with you actually in the panel. So after this session, so we will be having a webinar with Karen, and then so we'll meet again. During that panel to have really free discussion around everything. So I know time was really so tight during this first session. So I know you're full of questions. You'd like to ask many questions. So let's keep them for the panel. So the panel will be your space to ask whatever you'd like to ask us questions. So thank you all, and see you hopefully in the second session of today with Carl, Avni, Hoy, to talk about really to keep on this topic, and to talk about how we can combine both happiness and performance at work. Thank you all. See you there. Bye.
Thank you.